Like I just said, we just came back off tour.
Yeah.
You know, with Fifth, and we still touring. Still. And I do my own tours too for people. Oh, yo.
You see,
I do my own tours. I did tours in Canada. I did a tour across the whole Germany and the Swiss Alps. And that's why I don't care about the hate. Cause I'm like, I got the possibility to do my own tour. Like something with Memphis Bleak. Memphis Bleak said Nori. Yayo said Jay-Z didn't have us on tour like he did, or I eat my own halal. I eat my own halal too. If you want to say that, to Memphis Bleak, I just came off my last tour. All I'm saying is when you see Jay-Z in a setting, he never really, when he's doing a Beyonce show or whatever, you don't see Memphis Bleak on the stage or him being brought out. You know, even if I'm doing the hype man shit with 50, he's bringing me out. I'm making money. I'm going to—
That's that man girl too. That's it. That's Hov's wife tour.
Yeah, that's Hov wife tour.
So I believe if Hov was out on his own, he would bring Bleak out. There is no need for him to bring Bleak in a situation where it looked like if this was last tour you're talking about with the Cowboy Carter.
Right.
Yeah.
So to me, because I look at Bleak as a loyal guy, like I'm a loyal guy to Jay. But I look at like Fifth, my guy Hervé, one day we had TRL, and it's the Young Gunners there.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to him about it. And Hervé says loud, you don't gotta worry about nothing. You got 50. Jay-Z doesn't do nothing for these guys like 50 does. And Hervé, I think he worked with them too. But he said that to me, and that always stuck in my head. Rest in peace to him.
When Jim Jones went off in the middle of Memphis Bleak's podcast, it wasn't just some random outburst. It was an explosion years in the making. His fury had a name on it: Tony Yayo. The vibe got so tense you could feel it through the screen, and even Bleak looked stunned by how fast it went left. What made it even crazier, Bleak doesn't even rock with Yayo like that. So everyone's asking, what really pushed Jim over the edge? This whole mess runs deep, tied to loyalty, pride, and one word that still rules hip-hop: respect. See, Bleak's story makes sense. He's been Jay-Z's day one, like a younger brother in the Rockefeller family.
I seen something Tony Yayo said, Hov don't look out for me like 50 look out for him.
Oh, word? He said that?
I just want to clear that up. Hov don't have to.
All right.
You know what I mean?
All right, okay.
I'm chewing a lie on my own.
Right.
If Hov look out, I'm telling you, I'll be up there.
Right.
So when y'all see me out here, that's the Blizzle budget. But back to you, I'm sorry for cutting you off, but I just want to let niggas know Hov don't have to.
So,
with everything you
Maserati Fox, real nigga. Huh?
With everything that you saw, what would you change?
I just pray to God every time I leave the house.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to him about it. And Hervé says loud, you don't gotta worry about nothing. You got 50. Jay-Z doesn't do nothing for these guys like 50 does.
Their bond, unbreakable. But Tony Yayo's been throwing slick shots at Hov for years, keeping old drama alive. Things really boiled over when Yayo claimed Jay tried to block 50 Cent from performing at the Super Bowl halftime show, a shot that still burns 50's camp to this day. Then Yayo popped up on Shannon Sharpe's show, Ready for War. He didn't just call Jay a hater, he went all in saying, Jay never helps nobody win, never lifts anyone up. Then he fired at Bleak directly, saying, look at Memphis Bleak, he not shining, he not winning.
This the difference between me and other niggas, right? Stack Bundles, one of my favorite rappers in the world.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Right?
Ryan
Squad.
Rest in peace.
Far Rock,
Yep.
you understand? Jim Jones, he had Stack Bundles, he had Max B. I looked at it like, wait, you know. Stack Bundles had a Porsche and was still in the hood. No disrespect to Jim Jones. Fifth had me in Battery Park. I could walk out that barefoot.
Get the socks.
See, that's when a nigga love you, nigga. Get the socks, nigga. Sneakers Dior, nigga. But I'm walking out there barefoot. That's when you know a nigga love you, boy. Because he making sure you don't get your shit split. Because you go back to 134, anywhere, Baisley, right, Brooklyn, phew, shit get split. Once I got shit, nigga shot my shit up. Bentleys and all that. Y'all can get that sneaker, just toss that over there. My shit's official. You know what I'm saying? Yo, look, but nigga put me in position. Rest in peace of Stack, but Stack got killed in the project with a Porsche.
Yeah.
Nigga, come on, nigga, I'm from the hood, nigga. Y'all niggas thought, nigga. I done been around the Black Justice and seen the Preems and all that, nigga. The E-Money bags, all that, nigga. The younger niggas under that.
So with everything you
Maserati, Fox, real nigga. Huh?
So with everything that you saw, what would you change?
I just pray to God every time I leave the house.
But what would you change?
Change what?
Pass a cup.
I heard you talk about all the shit you went through, all the shit niggas is still going through.
What God,
one of them cups
listen,
just for
what
the
God
ass
got
cake.
planned for you is planned for you, brother. God already know what's planned for you in life.
God planned for you to come here and spaz on y'all niggas tonight.
I spaz?
I'm just saying it was a plan.
I mean, I do be on some Hollywood shit in Europe. I gotta stop.
Yeah.
Something like, yo, stop talking about Europe. I don't, like, when you come here, you gotta deal
Don't
with
treat
niggas.
Vlad like that, bro. See how niggas is? See how
No, I
niggas
had
is,
nothing to do
bro?
with Vlad.
He ain't treat Vlad
I do
like
with Europe.
this. He
I
ain't treat
do
Vlad
things
like
you have to
this,
do with
my
Europe.
nigga.
When you go to
Jay don't take care of him like 50 takes care of us. That line hit like a bomb. It wasn't just shade, it was straight disrespect. Bleek's been loyal for decades, never switched up, always repping Jay. And now the internet's clowning him for staying down too long. This one hit deep, and everybody felt it. That hit deep. It wasn't just Bleek who felt it. Everyone in Jay's circle caught that sting. And that's when Jim Jones jumped in like, nah, we're not letting this slide. Jim kept it all the way real, saying this whole debate about who takes better care of their crew was straight corny. He called it out plain and simple. Real ones don't measure loyalty by handouts. Jim dropped gems. You can't feed your family off another man's plate. And he's right. Once that plate stops coming, your people starve. All that talk about who's giving who more money or support. Weak energy. Jim made it clear. A real man stands on his own 2 feet. If your brother helps you out, that's love, no question. But bragging about it like it's a trophy, that's way off. When Yayo brought it up, it didn't sound like a real critique. It sounded like a cry for validation. Instead of checking Jay-Z's character, he turned it into a weird competition. Like, who's getting spoiled more? That's wild talk for grown men, especially when we're talking about 2 bosses who move completely different when it comes to loyalty and leadership. So when Bleek pulled up to Drink Champs, he had to speak his piece. He made it clear there's no real beef with Yayo. They've crossed paths, even chopped it up before. But after that slick comment, everything shifted. The vibe got off, and Bleek's tone said it all. This wasn't about fame or money, it was about respect. That's the same wild energy that dragged Jim Jones right into the middle of the storm. If you remember the early 2000s, the G-Unit verses, Dipset wars were pure chaos. 50 Cent and Cameron firing shots, Jim caught in the mix, the streets divided like a battlefield. Most fans thought that era was long dead. Wrong. The tension never really faded, it just went quiet until now. See, Jim and Yayo have been trading little jabs for years behind the scenes, but this time it's different. It's not about records or charts anymore. It's about legacy, loyalty, and the street code. And when that gets questioned, things get dangerous. Yayo turned the heat all the way up when he sat on Math Hoffa's podcast and dropped a bomb. He accused Jim of leaving stack bundles in the hood to die. That hit like a gut punch. Those are fighting words. Now, if you don't know who Stack Bundles was, understand this. He wasn't just another rapper, he was family. One of Jim's day ones, signed under him, rolling on tour, getting real chances to blow up. Stack was supposed to be next up, but tragedy struck and he lost his life in the same hood he was trying to rise from. From the outside, it's easy to say Jim didn't do enough, but anyone who's ever tried to pull someone out the streets knows it's never that simple. You can give someone the plan, the money, the love, and they still might not walk away from that block. Jim always said he tried his best, gave Stack opportunities, gave him loyalty, gave him heart, but Stack wouldn't leave the streets that raised him. Then came the whispers, people saying Jim stole Stack's whole wave, his style, his sound. Jim shut that down every time, saying it wasn't theft, it was tribute. You could hear the pain in Jim's voice every time he talked about Stack. So when Yayo threw that name into the mix, it crossed the line. That wasn't rap talk anymore, that was personal. By the time Jim linked up with Bleek, the fire was already burning. The second Yayo's name got mentioned, Jim's whole energy shifted. He was ready for war. The moment Tony Yayo came up on that podcast, Jim flipped the switch. No hesitation, no filter. Memphis Bleek tried to keep things cool, but Jim, he was locked in, eyes sharp, ready to unload. You could hear it in his tone. This wasn't just reaction, this was built-up rage finally breaking loose. Jim started calm, steady voice saying, "My team's good, my family's straight," before snapping back with that Harlem confidence. All this talk about who's feeding who, nonsense. We don't need nobody to feed us. We feed ourselves. Every word came out heavy, full of pride and grit. Then Jim started swinging. Verbally and hard, he went straight for Yayo's pride, joking about his money, his image, even clowning his hygiene, saying he got enough lotion for every bump on his face. It was part comedy, part venom, and even Bleak couldn't help but smirk. But Jim wasn't laughing, he was sending a message. This wasn't about jokes, it was about self-respect. Jim wanted the world to know he built everything he's got from scratch. No cosigns, no handouts, no big homie cutting checks. That's why Yayo's jab stung so bad, because it implied Jim was living off someone else's name. And let's keep it real, Yayo's original point wasn't even that Jim was broke. He was questioning Jim's circle, saying they didn't look as strong as he claimed, like they weren't winning together. Pride took the wheel that day, no doubt about it. If Jim had paused and handled Yayo's claim calmly, maybe it could have turned into a real conversation about how fame and loyalty get twisted in this industry. But once that switch flipped, logic left the room. Jim felt disrespected, and when that happens, the Harlem in him shows up fast. His voice got louder, his body tensed up. You could tell this wasn't an act. This was years of bottled up frustration exploding in real time. Jim barked, "I don't answer to Jay-Z, 50 Cent, or anybody." He reminded everyone that he built his brand brick by brick. No shortcuts, no handouts. That was defiance at its peak. But that's where the talk turned to tension. Jim started aiming straight at Yayo's bond with 50, saying he's been hiding behind 50's bus since day one. "You've been the passenger your whole career," Jim snapped. "Well, I've been out here driving my own lane." That line hit deep, because everyone knows 50's the general, and being called his shadow, that's like being told you never stood on your own. The room got heavy after that. You could feel the air change. Even Bleak looked uneasy, realizing this wasn't debate anymore. It was war energy. Jim wasn't defending himself now. He was attacking Yayo's pride. He wanted to make him feel small, like he never earned respect without 50 beside him. Back in the early 2000s, when Dipset and G-Unit were running the streets, those crews had real history. The mixtape era was wild, slick bars, heavy subs, but those weren't just lyrics. They were real shots from real situations. So when Jim brought that old school fire back, it felt like reopening a wound the game thought had already healed. Yayo, being Yayo, didn't lose his cool. Nah, he played it like a chess master. Instead of clapping back with a diss track, he went silent, but deadly. He posted something online that hit harder than any verse. A picture of Max B, Jim Jones's longtime rival. That wasn't random. That was a calculated move. Anyone who knows the tension between Max and Jim caught it instantly. That post said everything without a single word. Yayo was basically saying, "You're not untouchable, bro." And just like that, the internet exploded. Fans started picking sides like it was 2004 all over again. Team Jim versus Team Yayo. But Jim didn't back down. He stood tall on his pride. He said he's never been anyone's sidekick, never needed a cosign, and never been fed by another man. He reminded everyone he built his lane from the dirt and stands on business every single day. To him, that Max B repost wasn't just shade, it was disrespect on another level, like digging up ghosts from his past just to get under his skin. And that's exactly what made this whole situation explode. The fans went wild. Some backed Jim, saying he had every right to snap. Others claimed Yayo just spoke a few uncomfortable truths. You know how the internet moves, clips everywhere, memes flying, everyone dropping opinions like it's gospel. The man just wanted to host a chill interview and ended up in the crossfire of two old school titans reigniting a decade's worth of smoke. After things got heated, Jim tried to cool it down for a moment, switching gears and flexing instead, showing off the lifestyle, the cars, the ice, the cash, all self-made. Bleak even joined in for a second, reminiscing about the old Rockefeller days, the grind, the wins, and the missed shots. For a brief moment, it looked like peace was possible, but pride had other plans. Once that ego kicked back in, Jim couldn't stop himself. The convo kept circling right back to Yayo. Every time he tried to move on, another jab slipped out. You could see Bleak nodding, trying to keep the vibe professional, but his face said it all. He didn't sign up for this battlefield. He probably never expected his podcast to spark a full-on G-Unit versus Dipset revival, but that's hip-hop. One comment, one clip, and suddenly the whole culture's debating loyalty, money, and respect all over again. Jim's tone by the end was pure fire. No apologies, no backpedaling. "We not waiting for nobody to take care of us," he said. "We take care of ourselves." That hit like a battle cry. You could tell he wasn't performing. He meant every single word. This wasn't a rant. It was a statement of pride. Jim drew a line in the sand that night, letting the world know he's a Harlem hustler through and through. Built his empire with his own hands. When someone questions his grind, he's gonna answer with fire in his chest and conviction in his voice. Memphis Bleek tried to steer the convo somewhere else, but it was already too late. The clip was out, and within hours, it was everywhere. Every blog, every hip-hop page, every YouTube commentator had it on replay, breaking it down frame by frame. The headlines were wild. Jim Jones snaps on Tony Yayo. But this wasn't just another rap beef. It was the rebirth of old tension that had been bubbling quietly for years. And Yayo, he wasn't about to let Jim's fire burn unchecked. He didn't rant. He didn't do interviews. He moved in silence, but with precision. No diss track, no shouting match. Just one post that hit harder than any words. He dropped that infamous picture of Max B, Jim's longtime rival. That single image spoke volumes. It was like he was reminding everyone about a wound that never fully healed. For anyone who doesn't know, Max B and Jim used to be like brothers. They helped give Harlem its swagger back in the mid-2000s. Same wave, same vision, same hunger. But once money and pride got in the way, it all fell apart, ugly in public. Max ended up behind bars, and his name turned into one of the most painful chapters in Jim's story. So when Yayo brought that up, even without saying a word, it was a dagger to the heart. That was Yayo saying, "You're not as solid as you think you are." It wasn't trolling. It was a cold, strategic chess move aimed straight at Jim's emotions. The internet went crazy after that. Fans split instantly. Some said Yayo went too far, hitting below the belt. Others called it a slick, calculated power play. But no matter whose side you were on, one thing was clear. This story wasn't done. Jim spent years proving he built his name, his team, and his money straight from the dirt. So when people accused him of neglecting stack bundles or depending on someone else, it felt like a slap in the face to everything he's worked for. He had no choice but to clap back. That's why every word that came out of his mouth on that podcast hit with so much fire. He wasn't performing. He was protecting his legacy. The wild part is, if you strip away the ego and heat, both men actually had valid points. Yayo was saying loyalty and success should go hand in hand, that a real leader makes sure his crew eats too. But Jim's view was different. He was saying every man's got to fill his own plate. You can't sit around waiting for someone else to feed you. Two powerful ideas, two very different definitions of manhood and loyalty. That's what made their clash so fascinating. It wasn't just another rap feud. It was a deep debate about what being real means in this generation of hip-hop. And once the clip went viral, fans went into detective mode, digging up old interviews, old lyrics, even past footage to connect the dots. Suddenly, those early 2000s Dipset and G-Unit moments were back in circulation, with everyone pointing out how the tension never really disappeared. History was repeating itself, only this time, social media was the amplifier. Memes dropped like wildfire. Jim's fiery lines turned into viral sound bites, and Yayo's slick post got remixed 100 different ways. The culture was laughing, but underneath the jokes, you could feel the weight. This was pride, scars, and history clashing all over again. Jim spent years proving he built his name, his team, and his money straight from the dirt. So when people accused him of neglecting stack bundles or depending on someone else, it felt like spitting on everything he's built. He had no choice but to respond. That's why every word he dropped on that podcast came out blazing with emotion. He wasn't performing, he was protecting his legacy. And the wild thing, if you strip away the pride and emotion, both men actually had a point. Yayo was saying loyalty and success should move together, that a true leader makes sure his people eat. But Jim was standing on something else. He was saying every man's responsible for his own plate. You can't wait for another man to feed you. Two real codes, two very different visions of what manhood and loyalty mean in this era of rap. That's what made the whole clash hit so deep. It wasn't just another music beef. It was a real conversation about what being real actually means. As the story spread, fans went digging. Old clips, old interviews, old lyrics, all resurfaced. Suddenly, those early 2000s Dipset verses, G-Unit moments were back on the timeline. Proof that this tension never truly died. And once social media grabbed it, It blew up. Jim's fiery rants became viral sound bites, and Yayo's shady posts turned into a meme factory. The culture was entertained, no doubt, but behind the laughs, there was real emotion. These weren't kids playing internet games. These were grown men with pride, scars, and history. Meanwhile, poor Memphis Bleek found himself caught dead center in the storm. His name started trending, fans tagging him non-stop, joking that his chill podcast just rekindled one of hip-hop's oldest rivalries. But to his credit, Bleek stayed cool under pressure. He kept it respectful, reminding everyone he's been loyal to Jay-Z from day one and that he's got love for both sides. He wasn't choosing teams, but he made it clear. Nobody's clowning him or the Rock legacy. By the end of it, Jim's stance was loud and clear. He's nobody's understudy. "We not waiting for nobody to take care of us," he said. "We take care of ourselves." That line became the quote of the moment, his mic drop statement. It summed up everything he stood for: independence, hustle, and pride. And even though this all started with Tony Yayo's shots at Jay-Z and Bleek, it ended up pulling back the curtain on something way deeper: the ego, pain, and pride that still run through some of hip-hop's most legendary figures. Now the fans are locked in, watching for what's next. Will Yayo fire another slick jab? Will Jim clap back with music? Or will this finally cool off before someone takes it too far? The tension's still thick and the culture's holding its breath. One thing's for sure, this whole saga reminded everyone that hip-hop's old guard still got fire in their veins. These aren't just rappers, they're survivors, veterans from an era where words could spark wars and pride could build or break a legacy. So what side are you on? Team Jim Jones, standing tall on hustle and independence? Or Team Tony Yayo, claiming real loyalty means making sure your people shine too? Either way, hip-hop's watching, and this story's far from over.